Welcome, everybody, to What? Not Another Reselling Podcast here on Jack's Treasures. Our podcast focuses on the live portion of reselling. We don't edit and we are raw. We don't sugarcoat anything. We try to bring you the truth about live selling. Today, we are talking to our guest about hosting a reseller meetup with all types of sellers, including both static and live.
Yes, and this is episode, by the way, number 28, which I did highlight, but Tracy didn't want to read that part. Our guest today is Alex, Beard King Picker. Alex is one of the hosts of the Reseller Locker Room Podcast, which, by the way, there will be a link down below to that podcast, and has helped organizing the North-East Tennessee Reseller Meetup in Greeneville, Tennessee on September the 26th, which is literally a week away from when this comes out, the 26th to the 28th. He's well known in the community as the go-to bookseller and all-around great guy. We're excited. We've actually met Alex a couple of times at the Nashville Meetup, and we're excited to have him on the show today.
First question, can you judge a book by its cover?
The big one.
Yes, I can.
There you go, right there, guys. Alex, go ahead and introduce yourself briefly, and then we will get to some questions for you.
Yeah, my name is Alex. I go by Beard King Picker across YouTube and Instagram and all that. I specialize where I've niched down to only selling books. So I sell books on eBay and Amazon, and I every once in a while go on Whatnot and do book shows, which I'm struggling at, but I'm learning every time I do a new show. So
Right.
I've done everything from OA, the retail arbitrage, and I just settled to do books because
I noticed you had a couple of shows on the district also.
Yeah, no, I've done like a clothes show with Rod Picking Punching and one with Kevin over there too. So I like selling the clothes over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. We've actually been selling clothes on the district too, because we feel like our people on Whatnot don't think that we're clothes sellers. So kind of make a new persona on a different platform that they may accept that a little bit more about us.
How did you come up with the name of Beard King Picker?
I think I have the best beard in reselling, so I'm the king.
I would tend to agree with it right there, and I know that if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about having a beard contest.
I think
that's
still
happening.
Yes, Friday night is the beard contest at the meetup.
We need to ask Tony if he's going to be in that.
We told Tony.
I love discounts. He's got a pretty impressive beard too.
Yes, Tony has to join for sure. So I don't even know if I'm entering. I might just be judging the contest. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a short beard contest.
There's a short beard contest, short gray bearded contest for old guys. Count me in.
The long one, and then there's the face hugger, which is shorter beards like that.
There you go.
So
we'll clean you up and enter you.
I might be the only one. Everybody else is a long bearded one.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the schedule because I don't want to say it's that night. It might actually be Saturday night. The beard.
By the way, we will also have a link to the Facebook page that has all of the information on it about the meetup. And if it's not too late to go, because I will let you know, it is a free, 100% free event. All you got to do is pay for your room and any food that you might want. But other than that, it's a great opportunity to meet and some new people.
Yep. Well, now we are on to the real talk questions, where we ask tough questions about our guest and hopefully gain some knowledge.
I love the word tough that I put in there because not one of these questions is ever tough.
I would probably mess up the answer because I'm like on 3 hours of sleep tonight, but I'm going to try.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Wow, you were super busy then, I guess.
Well, our first question is the same question for every single guest, and it is, how did you get started reselling?
I started by selling off my toy collection on eBay. So I used to collect. I don't know if you guys know Todd McFarlane. He's the creator of Spawn.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a huge Spawn fan. Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
Man, I'm a terrible guest. I don't mute my phone. But yeah, I started off.
Don't worry about it. If you have a dog, we'll have the sighting of it too. I don't care where you put it in the house.
Yeah, I started off just selling the toy collection, and that's how I really got into reselling. And then I moved into doing books, and I started on Amazon with books. So I did
Right.
books. I did books for about 2 years before moving to the online arbitrage business.
How long have you been a reseller?
Man, longer than I can remember, apparently.
Oh, wow.
I think I've been around full time like 5 to 6 years now. So
Okay.
when I started selling the toys, I was only really doing eBay during Q4. I would list toys during Q4.
Mhm.
And then I started with the books. And then after 2 years of the books, I went full time with the online arbitrage and all that.
Cool.
That is awesome.
And you mentioned to us before that you've done some live reselling on Whatnot in the district. How did you get started with that?
With the live selling on District?
Mm-hmm.
Or on any
Whatnot,
platform.
wherever you started.
So I started first on Whatnot, and I did plushies on Whatnot. Me and my daughter Zoe did plushie shows for a while, just over on Whatnot, and that's kind of all I did on Whatnot was the plushie shows.
Okay.
As far as District, they Rod actually called me and reached out to me to come over and do a show with him. So then I started doing the clothing shows over there because he knows that I source mostly at the Goodwill bins, so I can get clothes like in a matter of a couple hours. I could have a whole shopping cart of clothes,
Right.
So I started just picking up clothes and hats and doing the shows over there. Over on District.
Where are you in? Are you based in Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville.
Nashville. Okay.
Nashville.
Okay. I apologize. I don't know you quite as well as Brian does, so I'm learning as
She
I go
doesn't
here.
research our guests like I do, guys. Now we're going to really see the real true Jack's Treasures person here.
I actually don't think I had the pleasure of meeting him during the meetup. I kind of sat in my little Whatnot corner, and I'm very overwhelmed by large crowds. So
She really
I
is.
do apologize.
But the amazing thing is she does meet people, but she does not like meeting like a lot of people at the same time. Where
I'm actually the same way. I don't like big groups of people, but which is funny because now I'm hosting, trying to host this meetup, but I get anxiety like in large groups, and then I deal with being claustrophobic. If there's like too many people in a small area, like I'll get claustrophobic.
Yeah, that actually happened to us at the Nashville meetup, and it was at the arcade.
Yeah,
there was just so many people, and it was great. I mean, I had a blast when we were there, but after a while, I would call it almost sensory overload because there were so many people to meet, and then the arcade and all of the games and everything. I told Tracy, I said,
Did you go outside?
Yes,
we did. Yeah.
Okay, I've talked to people and they're like, I didn't see you there. I'm like, we were outside, and they're like, there was an outside. I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we had to go to the outside because it was the sensory overload on the inside. And for me and my age, I'm 60 years old. So I grew up right at the time when the arcade became huge, like going to the arcade, playing the pinball machine, playing Space Invaders and all of that stuff. So it was great fun to being in there. But there were just so many people.
We actually have said we want to go back sometime when we come up just for a night visit because we pop up to Nashville pretty regularly.
Yeah, and we want to do it on an off day, not on the weekend. I had a question that I wanted to follow up with that one too. He is the host of one of the most popular, I would call it one of the most popular reselling podcasts in the Reseller Locker Room Podcast. When did you start that, and how did that come about that you became one of the guests? Sorry.
Ben Rocky Top Picker, which that's kind of when he got discovered through Trash to Cash because they were calling him Cool Kevin, and that's the only way I knew who this Cool Kevin guy was. He actually reached out to me randomly on Instagram just from seeing my shorts and stuff that I put out on Instagram because all my content is really Instagram is where I put out the most stuff. Okay. So he reached out to me and he's like, hey, I'm starting this podcast. Would you be interested in joining? I'm like, sure. I'm a yes man. Might as well try it, right?
Right.
So now on next Thursday, we're driving to Rocky Top's house before the meetup. Me and actually I'm driving up Archie Biscuit Butt and Mike Mecco, and we're doing our live 2-year anniversary show. So it'll be our
that is really awesome
for the meetup. That's how the whole meetup came about. Is we had, I think it was Kevin Commonwealth was on the show, and he was asking what we're doing for our 2-year, anniversary. I'm like, we haven't really thought about it. I'm like, well, might as well drive up to your house and we'll just do a live all together. That was the plan. And like, well, since we're all together, let's just have a meetup. And then it turned into this big meetup. So
that is awesome right there. We're actually going to be up there also on Thursday night.
We'll definitely have to tune in.
We will definitely be tuning in. That's for sure. What made you start reselling books, and what keeps you passionate about it? Because I could tell you, I could see behind you all of those books on that shelf. That looks like books to me. I am blind as a bat. I will let you know. But I've watched a lot of their podcasts, and I've just heard a lot of the things, and there is a passion. I'm very passionate about selling video games and consoles and the way that I do that. But the way that you are with the books, how did all of that happen?
Trying to think what started it. I mean, really just all the videos on Instagram and YouTube at the time. You mean 6, maybe 8 years ago when FBA was really taking off, and there was a lot of booksellers. It's the easiest way to get into learning how to sell on Amazon. So that's kind of why I started with books. But why I love them is I can store thousands of them. They don't take up as much space. I only need about 4 different boxes to run my whole business.
Right.
They're everywhere. Every other reseller passes them up and doesn't even look at the book. So you could still go to a yard sale and be, 5 hours late. The books will still be there all the time.
Agreed.
So they're just really looked over. I like the aspect of learning about it. Like the research, all the process of learning about the book is cool to me.
Wow.
So
it's funny because Tracy has a very similar story to that also. I'll let you say.
For years, I sold only like role-playing game books, Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards, or White Wolf, Wizards of the Coast, everything, BattleTech. That's all I sold, and I did it because I could source online and flip online. I had a very young special needs child. I wasn't able to get out and work. I couldn't get out and source, but I could find deals on eBay and then flip them to Amazon or flip them back to eBay. So we still look for them. Oh, absolutely. It's a lot harder than it was in 2005, but I still look for them.
I mean, even if you look at thrift stores nowadays, people complain about the price of thrift stores. The books are still reasonable, right? They're still only a couple dollars. Like maybe Goodwill's like $3 a book, but the ROI, in my opinion, you can't really beat the ROI when it comes to a book.
Absolutely.
That is awesome. I love that. And what keeps you passionate about it? Is it doing the research?
The research, I mean, I just appreciate books, So it's just something. We're big readers here in my house too. My wife more. She's like, 50, 60 books a year or something like that. I've always been into reading, but I like reading biographies and stuff like that. And she's big into the fantasy, so I've started reading more fantasy books.
I do read a lot of fantasy.
Okay, we have now met the Nashville version of us. Because literally I'm reading a book on Korea right now.
Okay.
And she loves reading fantasies, or loved to read the fantasies and stuff like that.
I go through cycles. I'm in young adult books right now, so I'm all over the place. But So put briefly, how do you decide what books are worth picking up and which ones you leave behind? Do you scan or do you just go with your gut?
At this point, because I've been doing it so long, I can look at a bookshelf in a thrift store and grab the profitable ones just because of my knowledge that's built up over the years. When it comes to Amazon, I'm still scanning, but I haven't sent a box to Amazon in probably, 5 months. So I don't really focus on the Amazon business anymore. For eBay, it's always vintage, antiquarian books, really niche down titles. So the stranger the title, the more likely that book is going to be worth money.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then, I focus on like the history books, genealogy.
Genealogy books. They've always done well for us.
Religious books, occult books, anything just strange is what you want to look out for when you're looking. If you're looking at a bookshelf, you want to find the strangest titles. And so I stay away from the mass market books. I don't really do mini mass market books. Not saying there's not money there. Like you can find, a lot of signed books, as a lot of these authors do the tours around all the, the bookstores and sign them. So I pick up any signed book. It doesn't matter.
So you were selling books during COVID, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We made so much money on Harlequin romances during COVID, and now I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole.
We bought out an estate sale. We just got, I don't know, the
sourcing gods,
because it was December 18th,
19.
We went into this estate sale, and the problem with the estate sale was it was close to the last day, and we were just seeing so much stuff that I wanted. I was like, we don't have time to cherry pick this thing. I'm going to make an offer on the entire contents of the basement and one of the rooms upstairs. And so we were able to negotiate everything and made the deal. Actually, if you know Buffalo Picker, Tommy, the Buffalo Picker, he was videotaping as I was doing that, and I had no idea. He has his own channel, and he nicknamed me the Whale Shark because of that. And I was like, that's the only estate sale we've ever liquidated. But it was full of books, and she had them boxed, and she had them all by the author, and had them all by the genre, and the series were together.
Oh, nice.
And then literally 2 months later,
COVID hit. And you could actually sell even Harlequin romances for something at that point by the box.
Yeah.
I mean, we made a couple $1,000s off Harlequin, and now it's like, I wouldn't touch it, but got very lucky with that.
Yeah, it was just, like I said, the planets aligned for us. It was the perfect storm. Have you noticed certain genres or niches that always sell faster than others? You mentioned a couple of them right there. Like cult books or occult books or books like that.
I'm trying to say it's hard to use the word faster when it comes to books because I already know they're all slow moving, right? It's a numbers game. When you're going to be an only booksellers, it's more of a numbers game because, I don't pay attention to sell-through rate on eBay when it comes to books. I could have a book that's going to sit for 3 years and I have to wait for that one buyer to come and that's looking for that book. So I would say out of anything, I mean, Bibles sell pretty good all the time. I'm every week I'm selling multiple Bibles, but not the average Bible. I'm talking like the old vintage Bibles. Like the money in Bibles is actually 1800s or different religious Bibles, not religious languages. So if you can find, a Bible in German or whatever, it's going to sell quicker.
Yeah, there's something for us to learn right there. I like that.
Well, changing the topic a little bit here, what inspired you to start the Reseller Meetup that we have coming up next week?
Rocky Top Picker said I had to do it, so I'm like, okay. Either that or I leave the show. So
that's inspiration right there.
I guess we're going to have to reach out to Ben and have him on as a guest after the meetup.
Get the other side of the story.
Yes.
What do you hope sellers that attend walk away from having learned or experienced?
Experience. I hope everyone just has fun, and I want them to walk away with new friends, really. And when it comes to learning, I mean, everything sells. I mean, every niche there's money to be made, right? So we can all learn from each other,
Right.
So that's what I just learned something new that you didn't know before, or be on the lookout, bolos, stuff like that.
Oh, I love that.
Just talking to other sellers,
That's an amazing thing right there, because that really rolls into the next question is, did you go about, when you were thinking about bringing this together, did you go about thinking that you were going to get different niche sellers, that some of them are live sellers, some of them are static sellers, some of them are Amazon sellers, or whatever it may be? Did you go about with the idea of bringing all of that together?
Yeah, when we've been talking about on the podcast, we're really pushing that. Like, you don't have to be an eBay seller to come here. It's for all resellers. Like, I don't care if you sell used cars, you're still a reseller. Come to the meetup. Who cares? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, on any platform. So you could sell furniture on Facebook Marketplace, because I know that's another great business, is flipping furniture on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh yeah, well, we have to, because we buy storage units, and furniture is always in the storage units, and we just flip it. And the good thing is our guest last week, which was Cato Marie, is a neighbor right down the road from us, and she flips furniture in her booth. She has an antique booth.
She paints them
and she paints them and redoes them. And I'm like, I'm not doing none of that. I just want this stuff out of my house and out of my way.
We flip a lot straight to her.
I can do it. Yeah, I'd literally sell it almost out of the storage unit straight to her. So yeah, that would be great.
I think the biggest thing we're trying to accomplish, though, I mean, we want old friends to come, but we want new faces that's never been to a reseller meetup before, to come check it out and see what it's all about.
Awesome.
So in that area, there's never been any meetups before. So there's a lot of new faces that are in that area that are going to be coming to this meetup.
Well, and just to let everybody know, we will be there also. Okay, awesome. Tracy and I will be at the meetup too. And I think, didn't we talk to Kata Marie? And she said she was thinking
she was looking into it. Yeah, she's got 3 very young children, so her getting time to go to these things is tough. But
I understand that. I understand that for sure.
What's one challenge you faced in organizing this event that most people wouldn't expect?
Yeah.
Dealing with 5 other personalities and trying to come together and agree. Sometimes it's easier when you have less. Less is more.
Right.
Not saying everyone has great ideas, but for all of us to say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. That's probably the hardest part about putting on a meetup with multiple people.
It's funny. One reason when we decided we wanted to do a live selling podcast, we didn't want a co-host. It was just like, we're going to do this and then we'll bring on a guest every week instead of trying to work with someone else's schedule every week, plus the guest schedule. It gives us a lot more flexibility. Even though it would be fun to have a regular co-host, it really adds an extra element of
But everybody I've asked has said no. I needed to reach out to Alex. What was that?
He always says yes. Yeah,
he's the yes. Yeah, we're gonna steal him away from the podcast. Yeah, that'll go over real well. No, won't be happening.
We're not starting any drama here.
Yeah, there's no drama. I don't want that statement to be like there was us butting heads behind the scenes doing this meetup, because not at all.
No, I don't think so.
Everyone's been great.
I know exactly what you mean, though.
Yeah.
The more people you bring into something, the more difficult it can be, even if y'all are all 100% on board.
Yeah, we had like 20 different ideas. I'm like, well, we can't do every idea, so we all have to agree on these are going to be the 10 things that we're going to do, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Like Ben was adamant about doing karaoke. I don't do karaoke at all, so I wasn't on board with the karaoke, but the other people want to do karaoke, so I get outvoted on the karaoke.
You can't say a thing. You are not going to blow this one on this one.
Is karaoke?
Yes.
I have never karaoke'd in my life in front of people like that, but I'm going to do it. And I have a song in there that I swear to God, if you're a YouTuber, you're going to go viral.
Okay.
I won't, but everybody else will. Well, it's really good that. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say Corey in a chat yesterday had the best pick for a karaoke song. It was the song Tequila, because it only has one word. So I might steal Corey's.
I could see that Corey's being his perfect song there.
That would be a good one. I told one person one time that I'm going to karaoke the song. What was it? Careful with that. Not Careful with That Axe, Eugene. One of These Days by Pink Floyd, because the only lyric in the song is one of these days I'm going to cut you into little pieces. That's it. That's it.
That is so funny. I was actually practicing my karaoke if I were going to do one, and it was a Pink Floyd song too. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
I actually love Pink Floyd. That is my favorite band. I was lucky enough to see them back in 1986, I think, 85 or 86. Awesome. It was just phenomenal. But it was great. What you just said leads to our next question. This is great. I would love to have Alex on as a guest all the time. How do you make sure new and smaller sellers feel just as included as the so-called big guys? Not Jack Stretcher. We're not big guys.
There's literally no difference between the big guys compared to someone just starting, because all of us started. Well, I have balloons. I always forget that I do that.
Wow. That's a first on Jack's.
All of us got into reselling. All of us got into reselling with never listing before, right? We all started in the same place. From zero sales, zero experience. We all start in the same place.
And all of us did it in a lot of different ways, because as Tracy said, the first question that we have asked every seller that we've had on the podcast. and they have all had, some of them have been very similar. Like, oh, well, my parents did a lot of yard selling, or they had a booth, or one of them, the father was an auctioneer. Actually, two of them, the father was an auctioneer, Jeremy of Green 13 and Lauren of a Homeschool Mama. So, yeah.
What kind of networking or collaboration opportunities do you hope happen naturally at the meetup?
Someone comes up to me and saying they have access to thousands of books all the time and they want nothing to do with it, and I'm able to drive and pick them up all for free. I hope that happens.
That would be awesome.
I'll do that with my video games. But yeah, there is going to be an opportunity for people to meet. And yes, actually, what Alex said makes a lot of sense, because we as storage unit buyers get a lot of books. And Alex knows that we go up to Nashville. We were actually thinking about going to Nashville tomorrow.
We might still do it.
We might still do it because there's a store up there that I know Alex is familiar with called McKay's.
That's
and McKay's is a
5
store
minutes from my house.
Yeah, and that's where we go up there all of the time. It's one of our biggest sourcing places, because we turn in books there, and they're generally books that don't have a lot of the value. They're not signed. They're not what you were talking about earlier. And we flip that into McKay's Cash, and then I turn around and I buy video games and video game consoles. And we didn't learn about it until we bought a storage unit in Nashville, going on 5 years ago now.
It was 2022, so a little over 3 at this point.
A little over 3 years ago, and that's how we learned about it. So it was great to have that, being able to have that ability to say, hey, Alex, is this book worth anything? And I could scan over some books at a yard sale, and Alex would say, yeah, you want to pick up these 3 right here. That always has happened. We've had people reaching out to us and say, hey, would this be a good pickup for either plush or
I get that almost weekly. I'm in a little Instagram group, and they always will send a picture to me and ask me on the video games, should I buy this for, buy all this for $100? And, I can give them kind of a quick yes or no, or what I would think.
Yeah. It's funny. There's people that go to the Goodwill bins here, and their whole business is based around taking it to McKay's to get.
I can imagine.
Get the cash or store credit. Use the store credit to buy something that will resell for more than what they're paying for it. So.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we've actually done it.
Yeah. I just took 3 boxes over there of books last week. I got another 3 boxes ready to go, and they gave me like $16 for cash or $38 store credit. So I took the $38 store credit, and then I can go in there and scan the books for Amazon if I want to, and then
right.
And they're just duds.
Yeah,
and most of my duds I'm getting for free because I'm doing all the clean outs, working with the state companies now. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've done a little bit of that, or we're trying to get into some of that too. This is an important question for it too. Do you think in-person meetups change the way resellers support each other online?
Wow. Yes. I'm just going to say yes. Like, there could be someone that wasn't vibing with their videos as much, but then when you meet them in person, you feel like you know them more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big thing right now, because there's a lot of I'll just let you know, in my case, Tracy used to follow all of the YouTube content. She knew about all of you guys way before I know about any of it. She would tell me, she said, hey, you should watch this. And she would say, you should watch this. I started watching it for 5 minutes on YouTube, and I'm like, this isn't for me. I could care less. For me, everybody that was another seller was the enemy, and it was adversarial. And when we went to the Nashville meetup 2 years ago, at the first one, I had surgery on my neck, so I was like pained out by nobody's business. I was on painkillers, plus I took a little bit of supplement to help ease the nerves a little bit. And so I was at that meetup for all of about 10 seconds and embarrassed the hell out of myself. to Scott, the bearded picker. And to this day, I think he hasn't forgiven me fully from it. But
they're friends now.
He is. We're friends now. But it was like bad. I mean, I was like really an ass. And it took all of about 10 seconds. And from that point on, we didn't do anything. We went to the meetup at the little the shop that Ray had the meetup at. And that was all that we did. We didn't do anything else with any of the other meetups.
The first year? Was that the first year? Right? I only showed up there, and then I went to eat, and then I wasn't there for the rest of the week.
That was us, too.
That was us, too. And when we were leaving, Tracy said, well, this isn't for us. We're not going to do this. And I would have went right back into I'm not going to do anything with any of these guys. I don't really like it, whatever. They're my competition. And we went back in. I went in to check out. And I talked to Paul, the Philly Flipper. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, everything changed. It's like a complete 360. And well, not 360 because that would be 180. A 180. And I love this community. I think this community is so good and so supportive of people online that you could literally reach out to somebody and they would tell you honestly to say, yes, definitely pick that up. That's a great bolo. And be happy that you picked it up and not, damn it, I wish I was there, or you suck, or whatever it may have been. So I think these in-person meetups, if you haven't been to one, North-East Tennessee Meetup, Greeneville, Tennessee, 26th to 28th, and free. Okay, it's not one that you have to pay for, like the eBay. A lot of the eBay ones, I think you have to pay for, or some of the others. This one is absolutely free. And if you miss out and you're in that area, if you're in the Northeast Tennessee area, I would be there in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. And there's still reasonable hotel rooms if you go out a little ways. That's what we had to do. But I mean, we're staying somewhere for like $70 a night, so it's very affordable if you're interested.
Yeah, if you bring a tent, you can sleep on Rocky Top Picker's front lawn. I heard.
Well, I think we know a couple people that we're talking about doing
camping,
that are camping. I think Tony and Lysandra
are. Yeah.
I Love Discounts. They're camping out, and if Dottie and Tracy, who's Lover Dogs and Vintage Thrifter on Whatnot, they are probably going to be there. But I know right now Tracy's mom is in the hospital, so they're going through some, life things going on. Mm-hmm. So,
can you think of any particular story or moment from a past meetup that really stuck with you?
Yeah, and this goes back to the last thing we were just talking about. So I'm going to throw Kevin under the bus here. Kevin, Commonwealth Picker. We've met in person the first time at the last Nashville meetup. And what he said to me, I was there with my family. I brought all my kids there. My kids were with me. And he was like, he came up to me and was like, I wasn't too sure about you until I saw you with your kids and your wife. So like, I'm just a family man. You know what I mean? He said, I thought you were a little bit sketchy because of my appearance, the tattoos, the big beard. I don't know. So I thought that was funny. So
it's funny. Him and Kevin talked quite a while at that meetup too, about teaching, because they both taught social studies, so they had a lot of, I don't even think they talked reselling at all.
I never talked to him about reselling. I wanted to talk to him about teaching because we started teaching at the same time in 2000, and we both taught social studies.
Yeah.
And he did last longer than I did. He taught till 2022, and I lasted into 2018. And my big thing was to find out what was that breaking point for him to get him to finally say, screw this teaching gig. Because teachers, and you were saying that your wife is a teacher too. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a teacher for the money because it's not there. Period. It's not there. You're not wanting it because you love aggravation and working 24 hours a day, because they always tell you you're a teacher 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. It's a calling. People that do it, and I bless them all of the time. Susan, Ken, SSK Promos, cousin, I always bless her every single time for doing it, because it is a calling. But when you are in there and you leave after 18 years, or in Kevin's case, 22 years, something happened. Something said, this isn't what I want to do anymore. And I wanted to find out what it was. So it was kind of cool because it was very similar to mine.
Yeah, that's another reason to go to Meetup. We already know that we all have one thing in common, that's reselling. But you won't know until you go start talking to someone all the other things that we might have in common, you know.
Yeah. So that's great. That was a good story.
Sometimes I want to go back in our former videos and see whether Kevin the Commonwealth Picker or Harry Tornado is mentioned most. Because I think almost everybody mentions one or the other as being like an influence on them in some way.
I would almost, oh my gosh. Well, I'm not going to throw either one of them under the bus on that one and stuff. I would have to, everybody go ahead and check out all of our prior videos. This is episode number 28. So you got plenty of time that, we're not at that 200 mark like the locker room. So yeah, go ahead and check it out and we find that one out. Do you see reseller meetups growing in the next few years, or do you see them maybe they're at their peak now?
I think they're still going to keep growing. I hope they're still going to grow. I mean, I hope we can do this again next year and it just gets bigger and bigger. If you look at what Ray did in Nashville, I mean, he's expecting like 300 people. So that event's going to grow, hopefully another 100 people next year, right?
Wow. Yeah.
I hope so.
I do too.
So,
yeah. And hopefully yours will keep growing right along with it. Because
if you decide to repeat it,
after this week, after the weekend coming up, they might be like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing that shit no more.
Well, that really depends on the feedback we get from everyone that came, and then we're going to be asking people where we can improve to make it better, and we're trying to do it a little bit different than all the other meetups as well. Like, Ray's biggest night is Friday night, and then we see it down, like not that many people show up on Saturday night. Our biggest night's going to be Saturday night. So we're trying to, like, all the giveaways, you have to get the giveaways, you have to show up Saturday night. So all the like we're doing a pass and grab, or not pass and grab. It's called stab and grab, which is pretty much the white elephant. We just renamed it.
Yes.
We're doing
I saw that online. I was meaning to talk to him about that, see what we need to do to get going on that, because that sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't know, just whatever we find yard selling, something ridiculous.
Right.
The next day. So I think Saturday is going to be the biggest night, hopefully. That's the
we're
goal.
Looking forward to it.
Well, I can tell you that we're going to be there, because we're going to be there from Thursday to Sunday, actually Monday.
Yeah, we kind of had to stay an extra night because it turned out we have 3 shows we have to do on Whatnot on Sunday. And doing them from a hotel is easier than doing them from the road.
Because this one can't say no when somebody asks us if they want to be on a raid train. And I'm like, you got us on an hour raid train, and I cannot do that on the road. I can do a 5-minute, 10-minute show. I cannot do an hour.
Are you guys doing only lives over on Dibdit? Is that where you guys are doing your shows?
No, actually, we're about probably, as far as our live selling goes, we're about 90% on Whatnot, because we've been on Whatnot for close to 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And so we have built a big following on which I don't know if you want to call it a big following, but we have about 10,000 followers on Whatnot. And we've just started dipping our toes in the water over on the district. We've been
done some lives on
Shop
Commons, and we've done one live so far on First Class Treasures.
And I think we did a live on the dollar auction, Corey's one over there. One of the things that we're having an issue with is it's hard for us being on Whatnot and knowing the logistics of how everything runs. We have a smooth way of running our show. It's really, really simple. But then when we go to the district, it is different in just a small, minute ways. But those small, minute ways double for us because we're not used to it at all.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things of, it's like, well, shit, where am I supposed to do this? I know exactly where to do it on Whatnot, but I don't know where to do it necessarily on district. So we're always like asking, going, hey, am I allowed to do this? Or how can I do this? Or something like that.
The thing that throws me off is Whatnot. We know how much it's going to cost to ship it. And then I'm guessing when I'm on the district app or Dibdit or First Class, like how much do I charge for shipping? I don't know. Have you guys experienced with calculated shipping over there? Or you're just a flat rate?
Calculated shipping on
district.
District?
Can you do it calculated live?
You can. I have not done it because it seems high.
Oh, okay.
And it seems like almost overwhelming to some people that I can usually navigated on my own a little bit using Pirate Ship and get it down after the fact. So I haven't used it.
We have done a couple of shows on district where one or two of our buys, like someone would buy more than multiple one items, that the money came out of our pocket to ship it. Like there was one that we lost, overboard. I think $15, and another one that we lost $5. It didn't matter because at that point, I never look at an item sale. I look at the show as a whole and say, did that show make money even with me paying that $15? And if it did, I'm okay with that. I just know that I need to adjust for certain items. But yeah, it is, in my opinion, this is just our opinion, guys. So please don't crucify me in the comments. In my opinion, Whatnot makes it very easy to do the shipping because all you do is you put in those weights and you're good to go.
And those adjustments,
you get 5 adjustments per week.
Yeah.
And if you don't use those adjustments, you're just, I don't know, wasting them or whatever. But you get those 5 adjustments to whereas, you know, the box is bigger. For you doing books, you're going to know exactly what size boxes. You were saying earlier that you know the exact boxes that you need. You have 4 sizes. We need to have boxes sometimes that are absolutely huge to sometimes that are big based on how many people buy in the show. You can do it by the item, but when you have somebody buy 20 items, now that box went from one size to a size you might not have, and it goes over and you use the adjustment. I don't know if district has adjustments yet. So
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not
but there's room for improvement on both sites. Both sites, Corey, don't crucify me and tell me that I'm only doing Whatnot. Both sites do need some improvements and stuff.
One last question, back to the Reseller Meetup information. What advice would you give someone who's thinking about hosting their own Reseller Meetup?
In their own city.
In their own city.
Don't do it. Just come to ours. No.
I like
it. I like that.
Give yourself enough time to legitimately plan it and advertise it so people go. Don't say, I'm going to do a meetup and it's 2 months away. That's not enough time to get the word out, I think. And work with other resellers to help promote it. We're all a community, and I've never met anyone that's in this community that's not willing to help out where we can, right? And help each other.
Right.
It's funny when y'all announced this, it was like, oh my gosh, that's so long away. I can't even, think about it. And then it was like it was here before I knew it.
Yeah. But we were on board once we heard about it. I was like, Tracy, we're going to that one because one of the things that I love about going to this meetup is at Ray's meetup, it was very, very heavy in live resellers. There was so many live resellers that Tracy and I were looking forward to meet. Jen's Multiverse was one, Flippin' Mimi Texas, obviously. Paul was there, but there were so many of the live resellers from Whatnot that were there. And for the one that you're having, I think it brings it back down a little bit to whereas there's those static listers, there's going to be a lot of district people that'll be there. And so we're going to be able to have a good mix and get some great information and feedback.
Yeah.
Which I think would be amazing. This is our next section. Thank you, by the way, Alex, for all of that great information right there, guys. I hope that everybody took a little bit away from that and got some good information on that. I know to be looking for foreign language Bibles is on our BOLO list.
Anyone ever has a question about a book, just reach out to me on Instagram. So I'm always willing to help.
And by the way, I will have Alex's Instagram link down below in the description, along with the Reseller Locker Room Podcast and
the meetup,
and his YouTube channel and his Whatnot channel and his district channel, because we want people to go live because we love live reselling. And so that would be just great. This is our next section. It's called What's Up. So this is where we talk about things that are going on in reselling in general. And this is one that we've actually had this question on 6 podcasts now, and we just keep never getting to it because of the fact that our other questions go so great. There's been a lot of talk about using AI in static listings, and AI can be a useful tool in live selling also when making thumbnails and other applications. And I know Whatnot has just introduced a new AI listing tool.
It's like under beta testing, I think, right now.
Yeah. And I know that there are some people that are 150% on board with AI. And then there's me, who's not. I'm basically an old school. I love putting all of the stuff in myself. I love doing the research myself. I love typing it myself. But I will say I do use AI a lot. How do you feel about using AI in reselling in general?
It has completely changed my whole business, me using
Okay.
AI. So I use List Easier to list
Mhm.
a lot of books. So, I mean, I'm doing like 50 a day, which that would take me forever usually doing all the research and stuff. So it already makes the title for you. You're still going to have to go and do the price comping and all that. And even if they said I wouldn't trust the pricing that AI is giving me, because I know if you ever use Chat GPT for a book, the pricing is way off
Right.
what it really, what it really is. But as far as taking the pictures and getting the listing and all that, it saves me so much time, so many steps it's saving me. So I have more time to do other things in my business now.
I've heard definitely a lot of good feedback about List Easier. I think if we ever had the right buy where we needed to put a lot of stuff up on eBay, I may look into that in the future.
Mhm.
Right now, I don't have a lot of like a death pile of eBay stuff, so it's not for us at the moment. But
we do have eBay. We do sell on
Yeah,
eBay also.
we
And
do.
a lot of people think that we don't do eBay, that we're all whatnot live sellers or whatnot in district, but we actually still do have our eBay. And as a matter of fact, we're ramping it back up, but we're ramping it up with items that can sit for a while, that'll have that higher value and will just get us that more money.
I listed commercial oven legs today.
Yes.
So that's not going to sell on whatnot.
No. Can you imagine just trying to run a commercial leg for what was it, like a stove or something like that we got in the storage
crazy
unit?
That's
and
crazy.
You listed it for what?
I had 4 of them and I listed them at $80 each.
Nice.
But that would never sell on whatnot. I couldn't sell that for $1 on whatnot.
It would be funny if you ran all 4 of them, but one at a time. So maybe one person would win the bid, and they only got 3 of them. Like, dang! Now I gotta
or doing something like what did Dan do? Dan sold 1 shoe.
Oh, yeah.
Dan in Demand sold 1 shoe one time to somebody, and there's actually a market for it.
1 foot flipper buy that shoe?
Oh, I've heard of 1 foot flipper. I don't know.
I don't know who bought it, but it was a great story that we got from Dan.
Now we're going to go on to our Shine the Light segment. This is where we spotlight live sellers at 3 different levels based on sales and followers. We look at sellers on various live selling platforms. Our new seller today is Angie, Perfectly Blessed. She's a seller on Whatnot, currently with 844 sales and 1.7 thousand followers. She's an amazing seller who supports so many sellers. She always puts her family first. She sells a little bit of everything and is someone we consider a true friend. And I'm going to throw this in here. She is my first live reselling friend.
She met them at the Nashville meetup, the first one.
Mm-hmm. She's the first person I talked to.
Yeah.
And a question based on her, how difficult is it for you to maintain a family while you grow a reselling business?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a question for me? I'm sorry.
That's a question for you.
What was the question again?
How difficult is it to maintain your family while growing your reselling business?
Man. I mean, the good thing about reselling is I can make my own hours. So I can work for an hour and go hang out with the family an hour if I want, and then come back down and do another hour, We homeschool too. So my daughter's here right now homeschooling
nice.
while I'm down here working. I try to come down here and kind of clock in like a regular job though, and come here at 8 and be done by 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
That never really happens though, to be honest, because I like working. So I can, I go up there, I make dinner for the whole family, put the kids to sleep, and then I come back to work. But I mean, the flexibility of reselling is what makes it so great, because I can make my own schedule. If I want to go out of town on vacation, I can do that, which I think is even better if you're only doing live selling, because you can really you don't have to worry about packing orders or doing any of that, because you can schedule your shows when you want to.
Right.
Yes. One of the problems though with live selling is that when life happens, Did you meet Angie at the meetup?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Her and her husband's name is Kelly, and Kelly was in the hospital very recently. And when that happens, your live selling just goes by the by. Where with static selling, you can still maintain all of that. So there's pluses and minuses to both. But obviously with Angie, she puts her family first. Obviously with Alex, family definitely has to come first. Our growing seller this week, I'm pretty sure that Alex knows our growing seller. His name is Shane from Soda City Flips. He's a reseller and a content creator. He's also the owner of the Crooked Spine Marketplace on the district. He has just under 1,000 sales on the district. He's also a seller in 6 of the marketplaces in selling, and I know that life happened with him very recently also, where he had to go back to work, but he's trying to revamp now and get back into it. Do you think that owning a marketplace on the district is a benefit to your own reselling business, or is it something that takes away from because of you having to deal with all of those other sellers?
For me personally, it would take away from what I'm trying to grow here on eBay. Just because you need to grow or your own marketplace, you need to put a lot of work into that, right?
Right.
So that's going to take away from my business.
Yeah.
I've had people ask why I haven't done like a book one, but it's just I don't want to put the time into it,
Yeah, I gotcha. Now you do know Shane, correct?
Yes, he was actually part of the Reseller Locker Room podcast.
Oh, I didn't know he was originally or he was on that one.
Yeah. And he just announced because he got the job, and now he's trying to get back into more live selling because it's going to work. It's going to be more flexible for his schedule.
That is awesome.
Good. Well, while I'm on that topic right now, then who are the official hosts of the Reseller Locker Room podcast?
Currently, because we go through lineup changes a lot. We have Rocky Top Picker is the creator, and he's like the main host, right? He kind of runs the show and keeps me on track. And then we have Jefferson Flips.
Okay.
Is our third and newest member to the locker room.
Awesome.
Okay. And I know Archie Biscuit Butt was part of it also.
Archie was an original member. When we first started, it was me, Ben, and Archie, and another person. They only lasted like 4 episodes. I don't even remember their name. Or their reselling name. I'm trying to remember their reselling name. And then we got Shane. Then Soda City Flips joined the podcast after the other guy left the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we had Easy Pickings after that too. So we've gone through a lot of lineup change for that third seat a lot.
And by the way, it's not for any other reason of those guys are just hard to work with. It's that you get so many people to try to organize times and get that one-time availability for it makes it very, very difficult, which is, again, what Tracy and I were talking about earlier, why we don't have another guest on our podcast regularly. Because we just don't want it, or not guest, another host. Is that it's just so difficult because our schedule is very, very flexible, but we have so many shows that are live shows that I can't commit to a certain time frame every single week. Like we're supposed to be on a podcast tomorrow, and we couldn't do it. And it was news to us. We weren't. It was one of those things where we were on the podcast previous, and they said, "Oh yeah, everybody that was on previous is going to be on the one that's on tomorrow," and I'm like, I can't be on the one tomorrow. I've already had other commitments that I needed to do and already had scheduled. So yeah, it's not because of those guys. Those guys are amazing. And if you get a chance to check them out, definitely do that.
Yeah, it was just a scheduling thing like that. For especially when it comes to Shane, he was working a full-time job, and then he came home. He wanted that time with his wife, which is understandable. I think family needs to come first before anything in life.
100%.
100%.
Our last seller we're going to highlight this week is an established seller. He's from Whatnot. His name is Tim. His username on there is That Narrator Dude. He currently has 5.7 thousand sales and 10,000 followers. He mostly sells video game surprise sets. and he has some of the best games in his surprise sets.
Yeah.
His shows are super fun, and he's a huge supporter of the reselling community, even doing a charity show for the family of a reseller who passed away.
Yeah.
When you see sellers running charity shows, do you feel like it's because they're really passionate about the cause, or do you think there's any other reason behind it?
Yeah.
I would hope it's only that they're very passionate behind that cause. Anything else, I hope it's not the issue, right? Like
right.
Trying to scam people or anything or something like that. But yeah.
I think 99.9% of the time it's because someone's got a passion, but those one bad apple, you know.
And we already know a lot of who the bad apple is and stuff like that. But yeah, we do a charity show on Veterans Day for Stop Soldier Suicide. And we have been huge in trying to bring about awareness of the Stop Soldier Suicide. Of course, we always have links down below in all of our videos to the Stop Soldier Suicide, because it's one of the things that we're very passionate about, being as is I served. So did you serve? I'm sorry, I meant to ask that.
No, I did not.
Okay.
My father did, but I didn't.
You always have to ask the guys with the tattoos, because, you know.
No, that didn't have anything to do with it. I like to ask a lot of people and stuff. And if your father served, I can promise you this, you did. Because if you were alive when he was serving, as I said, I always tell people, I said, look, they come up and they'll thank me for my service. I said, you really need to thank my family also, because my son was born and 2 weeks later, I was gone for 4 months. I was out at sea. And my wife and I were married less than a year, and Persian Gulf War started, and I was not sent to the front lines, but I was overseas at that time. So she had no idea where we were or anything like that. So it is very, I didn't, it wasn't Tracy. It was my first wife. So, we'll have links down below to all these amazing sellers. Tim, that narrator dude, Shane, Soda City Flips. We're going to have his links down there below. And also Angie, Perfectly Blessed. Please give them a follow, because you know what? That's free. Okay. It doesn't even matter. You don't have to get notifications. You turn off notifications, but give them follows. It's absolutely free. It is now time for Turn the Tables. This is where we allow our amazing guests to ask us any question that they want to know about Jack Treasures or Tracy and I.
Who is Jack?
Who is Jack? That is an amazing question. Well, Jack, and let me do it this way right here, okay? We're going to be gone for 1 second, guys, to answer this question, but let me see if our cat right there. We named ourselves Jack because when Tracy and I got together, she rescued this cat, and it was a kitten. It was only about that big. And the day that we got married, should I go into this? I've already blown it for everybody else.
Blown it everywhere.
When we got married, it was our second marriage for both of us, and we were really nervous. Tracy did not want a big crowd of people there. So we got high, and we went to Taco Bell. And when we went to Taco Bell,
the only time I ever eat Taco Bell if I'm high.
It's exactly it. So we went there, and I think we actually got the cat a little bit high too, because you know how you do stupid shit like that when you do that. And we went to Taco Bell, and when we got home, we put the bag on the table. And remember, she's just a little kitten too. And we turned around, and by the time we turned around, Jack was in the bag and getting a taco. So every time we went to Taco Bell, we bought a taco specifically for Jack. And that's why she got as fat as she is. She got really big. She became diabetic. And and as you could tell, we got high a lot because we went to Taco Bell a lot. But I know your mom's going to cancel us now after this, but we did not. I'm just kidding. But we brought her own. And so it was a natural thing because neither one of us wanted to have any children. I've already have 2 children. My children are grown. My son is 33 and my daughter is 30. And Tracy has a daughter that just turned 22. And actually, both of our daughters are named Caitlin. So I actually have 2 daughters named Caitlin. Oh, wow. So we didn't want to have any children. So we always considered Jack to be our child.
So we just sat around when I was telling him we made our YouTube channel. I was like, well, we got to come up with a reseller name, and we, put things around. And the suburban Atlanta flippers just didn't have a good feel to it.
Neither did Brian's Treasures or Brian and Tracy's Treasures or TBT or whatever.
Brian, I really thought your name was Jack for the longest time.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. And when they do, I answer to it. I have absolutely no qualms with that because that Jack was like our child. Yeah. And we lost Jack last year on Mother's Day. And I will let you know, that was probably the worst day practically of my almost my whole life. And then I've been through a divorce. I've been through all of that. I've lost family members to suicide, all of that stuff. Losing Jack was probably the absolute worst because she was our baby. And she really, really was. Yeah. But yeah, that's how we came up with the name of Jack's Treasures. And it kind of flows, and people do think of Jack. And how did she become with the name of Jack? Because you actually named Jack before,
she was a little feral cat and I couldn't get close to her. I didn't know if she was a girl or a boy, but she had one eye. One of her eyes was messed up, and I just started calling her One-Eyed Jack, and it stuck.
Yeah. So and that's why we have her like with the patch over her eye behind us and stuff like that. And she has the eye, but there was just
it was deformed and yeah.
But
anyway, that's why we're Jack's Treasures.
Thanks to our amazing guest, Alex, of the Reseller Locker Room Podcast. It was just amazing having him on. Our guest next week is not going to be who I wrote down because we're doing 2 recordings next week because of the North-East Tennessee Meetup. Our next guest is going to be Joe from I'd Flip That. Joe is going to be our thing, and we're going to be talking about how people don't resell live and why they don't resell live and why is it not for everybody. So definitely stay tuned for that one. And
our last question of the night is, once again, always the same. What does the future hold for Beard King Picker and the Reseller's Locker Room?
Yes.
The Reseller Locker Room, I just try to make it from week to week. We've been doing it for 2 years, so,
I will say this, too. You keep it fresh.
We try. We I don't know what's going on next week. I don't know if we have a guest or it's just us. No, we're doing the live. So, yeah, we're doing the live.
Yeah, you're doing the live one with Mike and Mary and everybody.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. Mike and Mary. We try to do a live every last Thursday of the month. So we at least do a live because it's fun, where we don't really have the topic. We just kind of bounce off the chat, and we can let loose a little bit. As far as my reselling business, I'm hoping within maybe 1 more year, I can have my wife leave her full-time job and work with me. So she's already dropped down her hours and works 2 days a week with me in the business. So we're just trying, what she likes to say, getting closer to the dock where she can leave her job,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the future plan. And hopefully I can fit at least 10,000 books in the space I currently have. I see in the next 5 years, probably being in a full warehouse is where I'd like to be.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is awesome right there. That is great.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. If you like what you see or you have any comments, make sure and pop those down below. As always, help us out with Stop Soldier Suicide and the Naughty Cat Cafe. There will also be links below for that.
Not a strip club.
Yes. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.